Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Divya English Speaking Academy. In this video, I am going to be explaining you about language and society. Language and society. This is very important topic for B.Ed students, and then especially this topic has been taken from the subject called language across the curriculum. Language across the curriculum. This is the main subject from where I have taken this topic. Now look at here, language and society. This is our main topic, language and society, and it's very important. And what other things we are going to learn in this? We are going to learn in this meaning, nature and scope of language. What is the meaning and what is the nature, what is the scope of language? B.Ed first year students. Introduction. Language is one of the unique possessions of human beings. Human society is unthinkable without a language. It is an essential part of human life. It is the only means of communication of human thoughts and ideas both in speech and writing. Language is the divine gift of God to man alone. It is language that distinguishes man from animals. Everyone makes use of language from birth to death. In fact, it is language that gives rise to human society. Now this is introduction. In simply, I just want to explain you according to my language in English what you need to remember. First of all, you just need to think when you write introduction of this topic that language is unique possessions of human beings. It's like unique possessions which belongs to them. Second thing that you can write about introduction, like human society is unthinkable without language. We cannot think about human society without language. Without language, how can we think about human society? And how people can live in a society without language if they don't communicate with one another? We can't function any society without language. So that we also can mention in introduction. And then it is an essential part for human life. It is only means of communication by which we express our thoughts, ideas, emotions to one person to another. And then one more thing you can mention in introduction, that language is the divine gift of God to man alone. It is God who provided the language to human beings so that they can express their thoughts, ideas, emotions, feelings to one another by using the language, whatever language they speak. And one more thing you can add, like everyone makes use of language from birth to death. So everyone, as we know, that make the use of language from birth to death. The moment people born, and then after that till death, so they use the language. And then in fact, language that gives rise to human society, and then it gives the rise where human society they develop, where human being they develop in society. It is because of the language which plays the vital role. Hope so introduction part is clear what you need to remember. Okay, now next, what can be the meaning of language? What do you think about language when you hear this word language? Okay, now let's see. The English word language has been derived from the Latin word lingua, which means tongue. It simply means tongue, which we use for communication, the smallest part of human body and very dangerous also. And in French term, langue and parole also bear the impression of language. In meaning of the language, most of the things they have mentioned here. So like it is a complex phenomenon, and then after that it includes the first cry of a baby from where so he learns the speech. After that is and then it is the language by which we express ourselves. And then language consists letters, alphabets, words, idioms, syntax, that we need to always make sure that. And then it is through language that we learn to think. Yeah, it's absolutely true. It is language through that we learn to think, feel, judge, express in society. If we want to judge, if we want to express in society anything, so it is the language which plays the vital role. And then one of the most thing which I like here, That is, language is the means through which the post heritage of idea and actions are passed over to the young generation. Yes, like many generations are going and then new generation is coming. So if we want to pass on the idea of our forefathers to the young generation, so we communicate all those things in language, and then we pass on to young generation. So language plays the vital role for that also, to make young generation to understand what had happened in history. So these are the things they have mentioned in this meaning of language, the authors, whoever has written the book. Okay, let's go to next. Definitions of language. Definitions of language, yeah, very important. Definitions of language. And then what can be the definitions of language? Many authors, they have given their different definitions for this particular topic. They have different kind of thinking ability to express this topic according to them. What do they suggest, what do they think, and then based on that they have given their different definitions. So let's see few of them. Rest of them you can just have a glance on your book also, and then I just want to mention few of the definitions related to this topic. Many linguists have tried to define the word language. Some of these are given below. Language means of communicating thoughts. Language is a mean of social control. Language is a set of human habits, the purpose of which is to give expression to thoughts and feelings. This is said by O. Jesperson. According to him, language is a set of human habits, the purpose of which is to give expression to thoughts and feelings. We give the expression to our thoughts and feelings because of language. According to Henry Sweet, once again I just want to repeat it. Language is the expression of ideas by means of speech, sound combined into words. Words are combined into sentences. This combination answering to that ideas into thoughts. So according to Henry Sweet, he says. Others, they also have tried to set, and then I think if I keep on explaining all those things, the topic is going to be very long. This video will be becoming little long, so you may not have this much time to listen, but then still a few of them I just want to mention now. According to Oxford English Dictionary, defines language as words, methods of combining them for the expansion and expression of thoughts. So these are the few definitions different people they have given about this. Next, so next is nature of language. Nature of language. So there are few points that we just need to remember. What can be the nature of language? What does it mean? So few points are there. I just want to read it for you. Language is learned by conscious efforts. Language is a complex system like human body. Language is a symbolic system of words. The system of a language is arbitrary. Language is living, language is unique, language is subject of skill, language relates to the culture, language is over-changing, language is conventional and traditional, language is a system of systems. So these are the things related to the nature of language. Nature of language. Skill, system, conscious efforts by which we can learn, and then after that ever-changing, relates to culture. These are the things can be mentioned. Next, main characteristics of language. Main characteristics of language, very very important, we can pay attention here. Main characteristics of language. Language is a form of behavior which is learned by conscious efforts. The infant knows no language. He has to learn it over a long period of time. First he cries and then he makes soft gurgling sounds. Papa, da da da, something like that, and finally it comes in speech sounds. So these are the things mentioned about the main characteristics of the language. After that, there are few points which I want to mention here, and then little bit I want to explain them also. Okay, so number one is called language is a system. Language is a system. A system is a complex whole. It is a set of connected parts of things. It is a unique system like human body system. Language functions through sounds, words, and structure. Language is a system, just like human body. We have the system. So same way the language is also one kind of system. But which kind of system it is? Unique system like human body it has. What does it consist? Now what are the things there? So there are sounds, there are words, there are structures. So now when we talk about all those sounds, words, structures, so this definitely relates to a system. There is a system for a particular language. And then we need to understand that when we talk about the characteristic of a language, number one thing is that there is a system how to pronounce for a particular word, and then after that how to combine a sentence, how to structure a sentence. If we are not able to structure a sentence correctly, that can make mistake, and then we will be miscommunicating to someone. So these all things we need to just keep in our mind. Sounds, words, and structures are the system of language. That's it. After that is called second one. Yeah. Now second point. Language is a system of system. What does it mean? Different words used in a language are symbols. In fact, language is a system of certain symbols. The railway, God uses certain symbols. The green flag, the red flag, the green lamp, the red lamp. The train starts when he shows the green flag or the green lamp. When he shows the red, so train stops. So these are the, now it's talking about the system of systems. So this system works effectively because the system of symbols are known to both the guard and the driver. Now see, when the driver and the guard, they understand the symbol, and then through that symbol they function. Similarly, the system of language works through symbols, and then symbols being words. The system of language functions through sounds, words, structures. These have their own system. If any of these systems fails to operate, the language used by a person will not be correct. For example, if a person is pronouncing the words correctly but not putting them into the correct order, he will not be understood. Yeah. So now here we need to look at here. So if this system will fail, if we are not able to pronounce word, if we are not able to give the right symbol for a right particular word in order to write, then people can't be able to understand us. Like my symbol is not right. For example, instead of writing R like this, I'm writing like this. Now people are not getting what kind of symbol is this, what I have written. So if it does not function correctly, so it can mislead, and then we will not be understood by people. Okay, next, number 3. Language is a system of symbols. Yeah, we have been talking about symbols, the symbols by which we can identify the signs. Okay. Now, language is a system of symbols, the symbols being words for better functioning of a language. It is essential that the speaker and the listeners should understand its symbols. These symbols have both sounds and meanings. The language functions through the symbols if meanings are attached to them. For example, the word cup has 3 sounds. Ka, a, pa. One sound, ka, a, pa. 3 sounds one word has. So we need to make sure that how we make the correct symbol, how we identify it, how we convey the meaning, because the symbols will help people to understand, because it conveys the two things, sounds and meanings also. Like CUP, cup, I'm making sound, and as well as a symbol is also there because it is written CUP, cup, written also, and then it has meanings also. Okay, let's go to next now. Symbols of language are arbitrary. Arbitrary symbols mean that there is no vital relationship between language item and the object for which it stands. An animal is called animal. Traditionally, there is no visual similarity between the symbols animal and the object for which animal word is used. It has not been named of the basis of some scientific principles. So here it is also clear mentioned that arbitrary symbols means that there is no visual relationship between language, so that is known as the arbitrary symbols. Next is number 5th. Language is vocal. Now see, when we talk about language is vocal, it is all about speaking, and then might not be necessary for writing most of the time. There might not be need of writing also, because it is all about speaking. As we keep on speaking, we are able to express our thoughts, and then this is what here we are able to learn that in our schools, like people are not using the English language in their speech, in their conversation. So that is the reason we are able to find that students are not that much fluent in English language, because they are not making this language as a vocal language. For conversation purpose, they are not using it, because language is known for that. Might not be possible most of the time writing, but it is all about speaking out, vocal. Okay, next, number 6. Language is dynamic. What does it mean? Language is not static, it is dynamic. So when we talk about the language is dynamic, it means according to the time it also keep on changing. So that's what it is, dynamic. Our old vocabulary might not be useful for most of the years which are going to come, and then according to time it keep on changing the structure also. So we need to make sure that this is one kind of dynamic language, as per the need of people, as per the time, and then as per the suitability of the culture. So new words comes, and then after that, when that is coming, so definitely the old words which people used, so they are no more, they are disappearing. So in that perspective, language is one kind of a dynamic. Next, 7. Language is made of habits. According to Jesperson, language is a set of human habits, the purpose of which is to give expression to thoughts and feelings. Jesperson said that language is a set of human habits. The purpose is to give our expression. We just want to express ourselves in our thoughts, in our feelings to someone. So how we are able to express in thoughts and feelings? That's because of the language. The system of the language is to be mastered at the habit level. Now when we talk about language is made of habit, it is all about the habit we have. When we make the habit of a particular language, then we have the mastery in that language. Otherwise, so we won't be able to express it, because we need to make sure that when a person speaks mother tongue, he doesn't care about words, sounds, and dance, and because automatically he's flowing off in his mouth and speaking constantly to whomever he wishes to talk. So because it has become his habit, so it is the language which becomes our habit, the particular language we speak of. So if it has become our habit, then definitely we love to express in that particular language. So in that sense, so language is made of habit. We have made it habit of ours to express. Yeah. Now look at next, number 8. Language is social behavior. Language is social behavior. Language is not inherited in the biological sense. That is, heredity does not predispose a person to learn one language more easily than another. It is a social behavior. A child picks up the language of his environment. If a child born in Tamil Nadu and he is brought up in London, he will pick up English. If he is taken away to Moscow, he will learn Russian. So in that sense, we can say that language is one kind of social behavior, the environment where we are surrounded with, and then definitely because of the influence of that particular language wherever we are living, so we become the habitual of speaking that language. In that sense, we can say the language is one kind of social behavior. After that, next is language is unique. What does it mean? Each language is unique. No two languages have the same sounds. Grammatically or lexical system, all languages differ in these respects. So fresh efforts have to be made to learn a language. Yeah, it is unique because every language has its own influence. So we cannot say that all the sounds of a language will be the same and then the grammar structure will be the same. Different grammar structure will be used for different language, and the sounds also will be the different for different language. Next is called language is a skill subject. A language is a skill subject. It should be learned like a skill. Yeah, I like this. So language is a skill subject. It should be learned like a skill. We have to learn these languages like skill. It requires a lot of repetition in speaking, reading, writing, and speaking language. Only then it becomes habit. Yeah, because I have been teaching language, so I do understand that language is a skill. So we need to keep on practicing. As we keep on practicing, our skill definitely will develop. So in the same manner, language is also one kind of skill. Next, 11, language is historical. Yes, every language has a legacy, the traditional developments at social level. This is a communal efforts and individuals. Language is acquired. Man takes the impression of language from society. Every rich language has its history. The language takes its form slowly and steadily. The coming generation receive the language from their ancestors. Language is historical means from the historical view that it was spoken something like that, and then we follow that. After that, something is changed because we learn it from our forefathers, ancestors, which lived in ancient time. So we learn it from them, and then after that, according to the time, smoothly we change also. It is not that we knew this language. No, it is historical. It has been running from years and years, and then we are getting it from our forefathers, from our parents, from our grandparents. They have learned from someone. Fine. Next, let's talk about the scope of language. It is little big also. Few of the things I just want to mention here. Okay, now when we talk about the scope of language, it is very important topic. So the scope of language, what can be the scope of language? Why language is very important? See, the scope of language will help one person to become an international person. And if person knows many languages, foreign languages, so he is able to communicate with people around the world, and then he is having a good scope of having job in various parts of the world. So the scope of language, when we study the scope of language, it has really a very big scope. Language learner, especially foreign language learners, they have the lots of opportunities, and learning many languages definitely give us lot of scope for our improvement, for our business, for our anything development which we wish to do, and then as well to make known ourselves. If we know the many languages, we are able to express our thoughts, ideas, emotions, or any talent we are having. So because of that particular language, we will be able to teach and to tell to other people also. So when we talk about the scope of language, so scope of language is, it is all about the language provides us the scope in which we can achieve many things. Like if we know the many foreign languages, many languages we know, so we are able to adjust at that particular environment. We are able to take benefit from there, we are able to set up our business there. We are able to do any activities there. During holidays we are able to go there, visit there and talk to people. We are switching off to in that particular language. So the scope of language provides us lots of opportunity. It is the because of the scope of language by which we also have lots of scope to ourselves to explore more, and language provides this opportunities for us. Like many of our people, if they know many languages, so they easily are staying in different places, German, US. And then once US President Barack Obama also said that I'm serious about this. We should understand that foreign language is a powerful tool to get a job. We know the foreign language, this is really a powerful tool to get a job, because it is all about the scope. If you have the language, definitely you have the scope. If you don't have the language, your scopes are very limited. You speak one language, your scope is very limited for any kind of job, for any kind of development. If you have many languages, especially you are very familiar with English language, chances are that you have a very good scope of to achieve anything what you wish to do. Okay, so I could explain it a little bit because I have to finish this, otherwise there won't be the meaning. Next, the second part is, what is the role of language in life? What is the role of language in life? We have been studying this topic, and then now the second question is here, what is the role of language in life? Yeah, let me explain also this. Or question can be asked, what is the role of language in intellectual, social, literacy and cultural development of life? This also can be said. Okay, so now when we talk about what is the role of language in life, vehicle of thoughts. Language has been a crucial role in the life of every individual. The role of language in our lives is incomparable. It is not just restrained to being a meaning of communication one's thoughts and ideas to the rest, but has also become a tool for foregoing friendship, culture ties, as well as economic relationship throughout history. Language is an extremely important way of interacting with the people around us. Okay, so number one is called vehicle of thoughts. Language is a vehicle of thoughts. We think through language. Thought is called subvocal speech. Yeah, vehicle of thoughts, because we are able to think because of language. That's it. Medium of expression, we are able to express ourselves because of language. Definitely language has the main role in the life of human being. Human being cannot live without language in society. Medium of communication, we can communicate to one another, communication with one another countries because of language. Definitely the role of language, we are communicating one country to another country. Communication, moral development happening, because if anybody is giving us teaching in a particular language, we are understanding. Because of that language, we are able to build up our moral development also, because that language is playing us the vital role. And what is wrong, what is right, our parents, they tell us what we need to say, what we should not say. So because of that particular language, particular word, we develop our moral developing and grooming. So one's personality, yes, absolutely, language, it is because of the language. If a person is good in that particular language, definitely he has good personality also, because he is able to express and then do any activities in that particular language. After that, his human development process also definitely takes place, the human development process, because of the language. Language is one of the key factors of human development process, which sets apart from the rest of the animal kingdom and needs a strong feeling of kinship amongst us. A baby is born without language, but even without formal training. By the age of 5, the child knows several hundred words and grammar of particular language. This is an inherent human tendency which is extremely important for the further growth. Child growth will take place because of the language. In the development of the child, language plays the important role because he is taught, and then various aspects we are able to communicate, and then we are able to love him by expressing the language. We are able to express our emotion by saying the language with our child. Basis of education, absolutely. Language is the basis of all education. School education is predominantly language oriented. Reading, writing, all these skills are very important. Medium of literature, language is the medium of literature. All the great literatures are produced through the medium of language. Absolutely. Growth of civilization, yeah, sure, language contributes to the growth of our civilization also, no doubt at all. Development of peace, yeah, how development of peace can be built up? Have you ever thought about this? Language contributes to peace process. International understanding and international peace have been possible through the medium of language. Yeah, if we are familiar with a particular language, we have the peace in our heart also. We don't need to get disturbed about peaceless because of not having the knowledge of language. At last is role of language in intellectual development, role of language in social development, role of language in literary development, role of language in cultural development. Yeah, all these things are there. So the role of language in social development is because of we are living in society, so we use the language, and then we develop lots of things. We make the relationship, friendship with people in the society, and then educationally also it plays the very vital role when we talk about the language. Literary development, because of many poetries and then autography, drama, essays are written in the language. Role of the language in the cultural development, yeah, cultural development, man is the social being, so definitely there are some culture things related to tradition and also in that. So definitely the culture development also takes places because of language, because any particular culture we are living in, so definitely that culture is also promoted and developed because of the language. Language teaching is also helpful in the cultural development. Like if we keep on teaching, then definitely the culture will get changed. Language plays a vital role in the meaning and the different cultures which interact with each other, and then very helpful for the communication purpose also. These minority culture, however, keep their heritage intact and converse with one another through their own language. Yeah, some people make sure that their kids should be following their own language also, so that they should not be forgetting. So this was all about the language and society. So I know this is very long video also, but then this is helpful if you listen it at night whenever you have free time. You don't need to study this first lesson at all. Put your earphone in your ear and then keep on listening. Once you listen it 45 minutes and 1 hour, you no need to study this topic at all, because all the things will be fixed in your mind. So thanks for watching, and then keep watching, keep supporting our channel. If you like video something like this, then consider subscribing and hit the notifications bell, so that whenever I upload new video, you are notified.